Hi everyone, I'm out here at Gifford Pinchot State Park in York, Pennsylvania. I am in the Susquehanna River Valley of the Appalachians, and I am looking for vernal pools. Vernal pools are unique formations to this land area and areas like the California coasts and northwards up into Washington or inland. But these pools are unique to this area, especially during early to mid-springtime, such as now, where a lot of rain will bring down a lot of water from these streams and ponds to create these low-lying freshwater pools. And in these pools have extremely unique invertebrates to this area known as fairy shrimp, Anostraca, the genus. By the way, this video was sort of inspired by Adam Harrington. He runs a page called Learn Your Land over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or around that area. He did a very similar video on fairy shrimp that he was actually able to find in more adult forms. So if you want to go check out what they look like swimming around in a pond over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, more in early springtime, how they look like when they're fully formed, you can go over and check it out there. The reason why mine aren't really formed that well is because it had just rained recently, so some of these pools that are forming are pretty darn new. It's better to catch them in early spring when rain is a bit more abundant. Rain is a bit more abundant, and the formation of these pools can happen more frequently, so the shrimp can, proliferate. So I found myself a little pool here. I am right next actually to the bridge I was just talking to you guys at, and connecting out, there's a bit of a stream pond which connects to the larger Pinchot Lake out that direction. But down in this little pond, there's actually quite a few of them. They're pretty small, so I'm going to kneel down and show you. But
so yeah, here's two of them right here. I'm trying to tell them in the light. Oh, there we go, perfect. Very small. It's difficult to see them in their larval stages, but they are hatched. You can kind of see them almost eating on the surface. It's quite cute. You can see sort of the two eye stalks and the gills sort of acting up front. But yeah, only time will tell if these guys will grow big and strong enough. And it's quite rare to see them out here, so very
yeah, to get right into it, the main ecological advantage that these guys have is that fairy shrimp are some of the first spawning organisms in these pools. And that's a specialization that they've acquired over the millions of years of having been here. That being said, they can both sexually mature and asexually reproduce as well, where they lay egg-type cysts at the ground of these wet pools when they feel as they need to. Either they're being threatened, or the water temperature is changing, or the water is just being depleted. Regardless, they have multiple sensor mechanisms in order to determine when to sexually or asexually create these cysts. Now, when these cysts do drop, they can stay dormant in the pools for years, 2 years. It's actually not quite known how long these things can stay dormant for, just because they've been around for so long and they've always popped up in different pools in different areas around creeks and streams. So it's unclear exactly the variability between species. But regardless, the issue with them is that they're pretty darn defenseless. So despite being some of the first organisms that appear in these pools, while they can take away other larval forms, other eggs of other organisms that they might need to compete with later on, if the pool is connected to a larger stream or river with larger vertebrates or invertebrates, they're pretty defenseless, being shrimp, so they get taken out quite quickly. But they have, like I said, multiple sexual and asexual advantages of reproduction. They are very similar to sea monkeys, what you might consider brine shrimp. The genus Anostraca, which is for the fairy shrimp, the freshwater species, is very similar to Artemia, brine shrimp. Those are the saltwater species. They look very similar. They function very similarly. It's strange that the Anostraca swim upside down. So the freshwater shrimp, for some odd reason, I guess, swim upside down. It helps them with obtaining better nutrients from the surface and whatnot and so forth. But yes, they are very similar, but not quite the same. We got the worm on this rock. Oh, scent.